Welcome back to another episode of Archie Sonic Character Files, exploring the histories of the inhabitants on planet Mobius. In this episode, we take a look at the renegade robot E-102 Gamma. Well, that didn't take long to get around to covering a character from the comics that first originated from the games. Granted, most of them have a lot of history in the Archie Sonic universe, so I decided to start off a little easy with covering the history of the Archie Sonic version of Gamma. When the Archie Sonic comics got around to adapting Sonic Adventure, they of course featured Gamma in their story. Although he started off in very small roles. He first shows up in issue 80, where he captures Froggy, and despite Big's attempts to stop him, he carries on with his mission. In issue 81, we get a scene that happens before this, where we see Robotnik instructing his E-100 series robots to find and capture Froggy. Then, in issue 82, Gamma finally gets to have his own spotlight story, and it's pretty much what you'd expect. Gamma is the second model of Robotnik's E-100 series, who would be trained in combat and would later go on to retrieve a frog that possesses part of chaos. He is then instructed to retrieve a flicky bird that is in a prison cell, and this is where he first meets Amy Rose. He orders Amy to hand over the bird, but to no avail. After listening to her begging the robot to let them free, Gamma suddenly has a change of heart and decides to release Amy and the flicky, even if he doesn't understand why he's doing this. We then jump to Sonic Super Special number 13, where Gamma's story continues on. He is ordered to destroy Sonic and Tails after they change the egg carrier back to its original form. After being defeated by the Blue Hedgehog, Amy steps in to stop Sonic from delivering the final blow, as he tells him that this robot saved her. But their little reunion is cut short as the egg carrier begins to descend from a lack of altitude. Sonic runs off to find Robotnik, Tails and Amy escape together, while Gamma flies off saying goodbye to his friend. After this, Gamma just kinda disappeared from the comics. We never saw him again throughout the rest of the Sonic Adventure adaptation, let alone the series as a whole. We did get another robot named Isaac, who was just a gold-painted Gamma, but it wasn't the same. Yeah, Isaac. Maybe he'll get his own episode one day. Over time, I imagine people just accepted that Gamma's outcome was the same as how it was in the game, but it turns out we had to wait almost 9 years for this character to have a proper conclusion and explain what happened to him in the events of Sonic Universe Issue 3. And it's pretty much what you'd expect. He abandons Robotnik and begins his new mission to destroy the other E-Series robots and free the animals inside them. However, in the old continuity of Archie Sonic, there exist many E-100 series robots, so after destroying the ones that were members of the egg carrier, including a now upgraded E-101 Beta, Gamma travels all over the world to find and destroy the others, while occasionally helping the freedom fighters from within the shadows. Which brings us to the present time, where Gamma has started to show his age. All those years of being a Lone Ranger had been wearing him out. The Guardians Units of Nations, or GUN for short, send Shadow on a mission to find Gamma. They hope that he will accept their offer to join the organization, as well as fix him up from all the battles and damages he's received. But it turns out they picked a bad time to do this, because unbeknownst to them, the second Robotnik plans to eliminate Gamma once and for all with his latest invention. On his mission, Shadow manages to find and convince Gamma to join GUN, but their time is cut short as they now have to deal with Robotnik's latest creation, the last of the E-Series robots, known as E-123 Omega. After being chased around and a short fight, Gamma accepts his fate of being destroyed, and Omega proceeds to open fire on him. But not before Gamma manages to transfer the data of his free will into Omega. That was the end of Gamma. He may have been destroyed, but his final gift was to give Omega the chance to have a free will of his own, to become more than just a walking weapon of mass destruction for Robotnik. And so Omega leaves behind a grave marker to honor his fallen brother, and proceeds to join GUN in his place. As for the new continuity, Gamma only had a brief cameo in a flashback scene from issue 264. We never saw a new take on this character, simply because the new timeline relied heavily on what was already established in the games. So if you played through Gamma's story mode in Sonic Adventure, then you already know what this version of the character is like. And that concludes the history of the Archie Sonic version of E-102 Gamma. The comics take on the character is more or less the same as like how he was in the game, with some noticeable differences. Throughout Gamma's origin in issue 82, the robot's dialogue is replaced with monologuing by someone. No idea if that's Gamma's own thoughts or if that's the flicky inside him that's talking, or it's just some unseen narrator telling the story. The big difference is that Gamma lacks the emotion and sadness that the game version had, as the comics mostly treat him like another one of Robotnik's robots during the Sonic Adventure adaptation. Heck, we don't even get to see the scene where Gamma comes across Beta being rebuilt into his new form. Also, this is more of a minor thing, but I kind of find it amusing that there are different ways of how Gamma has freed Amy in all these different adaptations. In the original game, he just simply pushed the button to open the jail doors. In the comics, he pretty much just rips the bars right off of the wall. And in Sonic X, he just blows them up with his gun. Seeing him return in Sonic Universe was a nice surprise, giving us an idea on what if Gamma survived his battle against E-101 Beta Mark II. Plus, seeing Gamma and Omega together is a fanboy's dream come true. While his final story is a nice send-off, it is a shame that all of these adventures he had in destroying the other E-series robots all happened off-screen. You'd think that would be some kind of a spin-off series focusing on Gamma as the Lone Ranger that would lead up to his final appearance in the comics. I suppose his death was more of a trade-off in favor of getting Omega, since he was one of the handful of Sonic characters from the games that was considered off-limits from being used in the comics for quite some time. I heard there used to be an official Archie Sonic blog site on Archie Comics' official website that provided some details on Gamma's adventures, but unfortunately that blog has become lost to time. From what I can gather, it's just, oh, here's the name of the other E-series robots. They reside in certain areas of Mobius, and then Gamma came by and blew them up. The end. Yeah, no images showing off what they looked like or what they were capable of doing to fight Gamma. Not even the complete Sonic comic encyclopedia mentions anything about them. Granted, some of these robots would make proper appearances in Archie Sonic's new timeline, but still, it sounded like they had the ideas for a full-on spin-off series starring Gamma, but I guess Sega just wouldn't let them go through with it. Well, that takes care of this character file, so until then, I got a juice!